So, 1047 Games has released their new game. If you don't know who 1047 is, they're the same people that made the kind of hit game at one point, Splitgate. Splitgate was kind of a mix of like a Halo arena shooter and then mixed with like the elements of Portal from back in the day. It was a very cool game, and I wish that it didn't die. I love that game so much. But they are back after the pretty much failure of Splitgate 2. Here we are with a new game, Impulse. Now, I've played a little bit of it, and I'm going to tell you my thoughts here and tell you just how I feel about the game itself. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the second channel, finally. I know it's been a bit since I posted on the second channel. With all of 4th of July going on, it's kind of been tough to sit there and, sit down and edit and stuff, and then, of course, my work being busier. So, yeah, a little hard to do to balance both channels, but hey, now the 4th of July is over. Should be able to do this now. But yeah, let's get into the thoughts of Impulse. Impulse, if you know, it's another first-person shooter of 1047's, and it's kind of more based around a Titanfall in a way, but the movement has been ramped up even further. The game is super smooth. When it comes to the movement side of everything, like, it is so the slide mechanics smooth, the jetpack system more towards like a Black Ops 3 in a way, the wall running is definitely more Titanfall orientated, and the gunplay, very snappy. Hip fire is really good. There is no aiming down sight. It's kind of like a CSGO in a way, or more like a Valorant, I guess you could say, where it's kind of like a quicker zoom, more of a quicker zoom, but you're not aiming down sights. You're just kind of aiming a little bit further in from the side. The game's smooth. The game has such smooth gameplay, and it's been so enjoyable so far. But definitely, it is aiming towards the guys that love the movement gods, like the movement gods of the world of the FPS genre. But still, the game is just a bunch of fun. And with the mech mechanics in the game, honestly, and this is how I was in Titanfall 2, it's my least favorite mechanic of the game. I love being, like in Titanfall, I would much rather be a pilot than actually, use the mech. Like, I don't even touch the mech in Impulse, I just run and gun mostly. I think a lot of people aim towards that as well. So I guess one of my issues I would say with the game is that, honestly, when a person gets a mech, it is a bit tough to get them out of it, you know what I mean? Which, that's fine, it should be that way in a way, but I don't feel like there's much that a regular player that's not in a mech suit can do rather than just keep shooting from afar. That is one thing that I'm kind of not budging with. Now, yeah, I know, of course, mech versus mech, you should use a mech to kill a mech. Understand. But in some way, I feel like it's a little unfair for, the regular players that don't have a mech. They're just sitting there running and gunning. And you can obviously say the movement is what makes the difference, but I don't know. I genuinely do think that there should be some sort of better way for the regular player that's not in a mech suit to kill the mech, if that makes sense. But other than that, the game itself is fun. Like, even I've played the mech versus mech stuff, and it does seem fun at times, but again, I'm not going to sit there and I'm not going to grab a mech in a regular game. I'm just going to sit there and run a gun. So to me personally, I don't think the mech system was really needed in this game. I think the game was fun alone, just with standard gameplay. But it's an addition. I can't sit here and complain about it when it's a new addition, and sometimes it is welcoming in some cases. Let's talk about the maps real quick. The maps are pretty... They fit the game perfectly. I think they're very fun. They're very fast-paced. Very close quarters at times, but also open at the same time. Verticality is a very big thing in this game, which I think is fine. You know what I mean? It fits the game very well. So all in all, I think the maps itself, they do fit the game perfectly. I think they're pretty dang good. I have not had a single issue with any of the maps so far. Gunplay smooth. It's very smooth in this game, and I've only had a handful of guns that I've used so far, as like the ARs and SMGs. I have not tried the sniper, I've not tried the LMG or even the pistol, so I can't speak for those ones at least, but all in all, from what I've played so far with these guns, the gunplay just feels very smooth. It's one of the more outstanding things, it's one of the pros of the game. The gunplay is very smooth. Now, honestly, I have not seen the greatest of reviews so far in this game, and that's because people are saying that the game is already dead on launch. Now, I have seen some hate towards it, and frankly, the launch wasn't big for the game. But frankly, I think that I don't think that has to do with the game itself. I think it has to do with the timing itself. It was shown off very quickly at, I think, Summer Game Fest, I think it was, for a brief period, and then like the next week it was a launch. Like, and now I guess we're in early access, but still, it launched very quickly into early access without any promotion around it, rather than a game like Splitgate, which got a decent amount of promotion before its launch. I think that's only their biggest reason, because people just don't know about the game yet, really. But all in all, I think on PlayStation at least, which I am mainly playing on, the game is pretty high up there in the best-selling category if you look through the store. It's getting its popularity. I think it just, maybe the Steam launch wasn't as big, and I'm not too sure. I don't even know if it's on Xbox or not. It might be on Xbox. I'm not too sure. Yeah, all in all, I don't really think it's the game's fault. I think the game is great for what it is. I think mainly just the promotion towards it was lackluster. I think the promotion towards the game was just very lackluster, and definitely could have needed more time to push the product more. As I said before, the game itself is great. It's a fun game, and I've been enjoying it a lot. And frankly, I think I'm going to be trying ranked mode. I think I've got to a decent point in the game where I understand it, and I kind of want to try, kind of see what I want to do here, and try to see if I can see how high I can get in ranked at least. I don't know. But as I said, I think the game is just really good. I think it's fun. And that's the thing about 1047. I think 1047 just makes good games, but I don't know what it is about either one, after launch, or two, just like, I don't the lack of hype I think is going into it, because 1047 has had Splitgate and it's failed, and it had Splitgate 2 and that failed as well, even worse. So it makes you curious. It's like, what is really going on here with 1047? But they're getting the budget to make another game. They have the budget, so people trust these guys to make a game. It's the question is if they can do something with it after the early access, because I feel like as soon as early access stops for these games, the game just falls off, and the game just slowly but surely and quietly just dwindles away. Again, I'm not too sure. I do genuinely enjoy the game, and I've enjoyed every 1047 game that I have played. Even Splitgate 2 I had fun with. Do I think it was better than Splitgate 1? No, but I think Splitgate 2 was enjoyable for what it was. And I think the same thing here. Impulse is definitely one of my favorites so far that they've made. I think Splitgate 1 is still my favorite, but Impulse is doing a good job, and I genuinely do want to see the game succeed and potentially get a good launch and have good content coming its way. The game has the potential. The question is if 1047 can release it and unleash the potential of this game before the game maybe dies off. I don't know. I think that's the biggest question with 1047, is if they can keep the popularity coming in. And frankly, with this one, it is kind of tough because of just, one, the lack of promotion towards the game. The game didn't have much promotion, and also with the reputation of Splitgate 1 and 2, 1047's reputation has kind of dwindled in a way, which is a shame because they do make fun games. Like, I genuinely enjoy the game a lot so far, and I'm continuously playing it almost every day now. So I do want to see the game succeed. It does deserve some sort of, recognition for what it is, especially in, a time period where we have no clue if we'll ever get a Titanfall 3. This might be your closest bet to it, unless you just want to stick on Titanfall 2, which is completely fine. Titanfall 2 is a phenomenal game. But I do appreciate 1047 because they do try to revive some of these, kind of past shooters that aren't as popular anymore. They tried to revive a Halo in a way with Splitgate. And yes, Halo is still, it's still big, of course, and Infinite is a fun game. But they took what Halo did well, and then also added a portal mechanic, which was just so cool, and it created so many cool clips, and I genuinely loved that game when it first came out. And here they are again trying to revive what people want, and that's a Titanfall shooter. We want another Titanfall 3. Now, yes, of course, this isn't Titanfall 3, but it's probably the closest thing we're ever to get to it, because who knows with EA if they'll ever pull the trigger on a Titanfall 3. Who fucking knows? Especially because Apex Legends is still going well, which again is based around the Titanfall universe. So who knows if they'll ever even try to make another Titanfall 3. Who knows? So would I recommend it? Who would I recommend it? Yes. Who I would recommend it to would definitely be the Titanfall fans. The Titanfall fans definitely will enjoy the game for what it is, and maybe some of Call of Duty's fan base, maybe some of Halo's fan base. You never know. I think we're hitting a point in Call of Duty where people genuinely do kind of want to see jetpacks return, in Call of Duty, which is very interesting because we were so done with it after Infinite Warfare. I have seen an uproar for it online, and it's genuinely interesting to me. I always enjoyed the jetpack games, like even Infinite Warfare I did have fun on. So I would not be opposed to seeing a jetpack game again. Now, I feel like it'd be definitely way more interesting because I think the movement gods would take that shit and run with it like even harder than they already do. But all in all, I think for the people that genuinely want to see that kind of jetpack FPS game and even a Titanfall type of game, I think this is your game to go towards. The game does a lot of things very well, and I don't think it has many flaws. Genuinely, I think for the niche genre that it's sticking in, I think it does it very well. I have seen some reactions on the channel saying, or reactions on this game saying how dead it is on launch, and I do understand that is an issue in a way. That is an issue. Like, no matter how much I enjoy the game, if the game is not selling or the game is not getting the numbers that it should, and you really can't do anything about that, and it's kind of unfortunate, especially with a live service game like Impulse, and even Splitgate was the same way. Splitgate was very popular in its early access, but as soon as season 1 hit, I feel like nobody cared for the game, and so I am kind of worried in that fact. I'm worried that Impulse might go down the same route. Really have been enjoying the game, and as you can see from the gameplay, I'm doing not bad. I think I have a 2.4 KD right now in the game. And I haven't played like a lot. I think I played like a total of 10 games so far. I am enjoying the game thoroughly. Every game I'm very tuned in, I'm very locked in, and I'm really enjoying it and trying to find different ways to outsmart the opponent and just frankly just not die. Skill gap is high in this game for sure, and it definitely takes a lot to master the game. But all in all, I think the game is just a whole lot of fun. Let me know in the comment section whether you like the game or not, things that you like to change. I love to have a comment section. I will try to get back to people in the comments as soon as I can. But anyways, yeah, I love you all, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.